Ron is the housing officer for Griffith University, and we're not dealing with Commonwealth Games as much today with you, Ron. It's mainly that big problem of the area of operation that you look after. Mm-hmm. And that is a big problem.
Well, it's a fair job, yes. Not a problem so far.
How many students do you have to cater for?
Well, we have 164 students there at the moment. Eventually we'll have 700 people living there.
You're one of those mature aid students almost, aren't you? Because aren't you living out in campus too?
Yes, I am. Yes, I moved in last weekend with my family.
What are you going to build this up to? You're on 164 students now.
Well, we'll go to 700 eventually, but probably not all students. We wouldn't have that number of students at Griffith University looking for accommodation on campus, but we'd probably be looking to the hospital, the QE2 hospital down below the university, TAFE students and students from QIT. And
now hang on, let's go back to the hospital across the road, which is currently being built, right?
That's correct, yes.
Now, is that going to be used pre-Commonwealth Games for accommodation or not?
No. The staff there would be using the housing village for accommodation, the staff of the hospital.
As well as your current students?
Yes, that's the plan.
Now, your job basically is what?
Well, it's the processing of applications for people wanting to live in the village, seeing them into their rooms and organising and ensuring that the day-to-day running of the place goes smoothly.
Ron, what was your background prior to becoming housing officer for Griffith?
Oh, I spent most of my life in the services, and from there I was the first housing officer at the Canberra College of Advanced Education, which is a similar setup to this. In fact, I think it was one of the first of its type in Australia.
It's almost like, I shouldn't say communal living, because it's not really communal living, is it?
There's a certain amount of communal living. They're living at the moment in groups of 8, so that there is a community commitment there. In other words, you put 8 people probably from different backgrounds into the one area, and they've got to get along together.
Is that one of the big difficulties, do you think, Ron, that settling in and perhaps working almost as a team, I suppose, isn't it?
I think in the beginning there's a fair amount of adjustment to be done by all the people living there, particularly when you take first-year students who perhaps have never been away from home before.
That's got to be a bit of a shock to the system, doesn't it?
Yes, but they seem to be coping extremely well.
Does that come into your role as well of helping the younger ones particularly who, we won't say they're mummy's boys, but they've been living at home all that time, and let's face it, they're coming into a real open way of life.
Yes, you know, a bit
in other words, a shoulder to cry on occasionally.
That's right, and a bit of counselling here and there, and a little bit of guidance.
Do you get much of that?
We're a little, but not too much.
Can you readily think of one or two instances, no names, but the types of things that you do get involved in, apart from just finding accommodation?
Yes, the type of thing that you come up against is that noise is a problem, and
they complain
about noise with each other, but an inability to go to the person concerned and say, look, turn your stereo down.
We find it difficult to do that.
To do that, we would prefer you to do it for us.
And how do you react?
Well, we would like them to try and do it themselves, but
it's all part of growth, I suppose.
Part of growth, that's right, yes. And the ability to communicate with each other and accept these things and the problems that arise out of it.
You know, probably our biggest problem in society is this thing called lack of communication. We let little things build up into great, dreadful things, don't we?
That's correct, and instead of going and being honest about it.
You say, can you keep the noise down a bit, or I'll knock your head in?
Well,
Ron,
not.
Thank you. Ron White, Housing Officer with Griffith University.